the Easter Bunny Draw My Life. You can go to their YouTube channel, Draw the Life Tic Tac. But I'm not going to be pausing it or talking it through the whole thing. Just go to the Easter Bunny Draw My Life if you guys want to see it for yourselves, because I don't know how to put links in the description. So anyways, further ado, let's get into this.
Class was in complete silence, pretending to concentrate on homework, but you could see the nerve in the air. Healthy classes at the clock. They were like a troop of soldiers ready to go into battle at a signal. However, in this case, it was a war of everyone against everyone. And she didn't really let anyone beat her. As soon as they rang, they all dropped their pens and ran to her. She was sitting at the nearest table and was the first one out. She had planned from the day she chose her desk. It was her favorite year after Christmas, of course, and it was worth it in the year for her to be the first to arrive in the courtyard. The sun was shining. It was the perfect day. She picked up one of the baskets and went in search of her precious Easter eggs. Although they were clumsily hidden, there were plenty for everyone. The competition was fierce. She heard all of her joyful cries of those had already found some. Wise strategy, splitting up and starting in remote places where there were fewer classmates. Without realizing it, she stepped off bounds and into the dark grove next to the courtyard. It seemed logical that there should be access.
What is that in her hand? Look at that. In her hand. What is that other than the basket?
Far away, but time was running out. She had only a couple. She was desperate. Mary could hardly hear the screams of the other kids in the distance, and her footsteps echoed over the ground leaves. Suddenly, she noticed her footsteps beside her and turned around. In front of her, there was a big rabbit as tall as an adult, standing and looking at her. His mouth could be seen despite his costume. Cold, cold, you're away. Mary listened to the strange.
That mask, though. Do not tell me that is no serial killer bunny rabbit. Even though I don't have some.
Mary listened to the stranger and retraced her steps while he followed her. When she saw some stones at the edge of the grove, she smiled confidently and bent down to look. Hot, hot, you're getting close. The rabbit bent very close to her. She finally found a bright painted egg that she got.
Why does he have to get that close? Something suspicious.
The rabbit smiled through the costume and patted her face. Excellent. Now go back, friends. There's nothing else here. That same night, Mary went to bed later than usual, but she fell asleep right away, worn out from the exhaustion and the chocolate binge. Her parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lynn, were a young couple who knew how important this party was for her, and they let her do anything she wanted. After midnight, when the house was
on, she literally just said a young couple and let her do anything. That's a little irresponsible. You know what? Not a little. That's a lot of irresponsible.
Completely silent, something woke Mary up. A hairy hand caressed her face, and she opened her eyes.
Man.
Sitting on the bed next to her was a huge rabbit.
A monster.
She could hardly see him in the dark, but he didn't look the same as that morning. He looked a lot more realistic. His eyes were alive, and he looked at her with a sinister glow. His fur was dirty and messy, and his mouth was much larger, with pointed fangs sticking out. The sword is not over yet, little one. There are 2 more eggs to be found. His voice sounded much hoarser, and she could feel the stench of his breath on her face.
Oof.
Mary was scared. She didn't understand anything, but she decided to listen to him. She got up, half asleep,
Look at
and went to
those
the hallway,
claws.
keeping her eyes on the rabbit.
Those are not the same claws from earlier. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna go back to this part. Look at that. Look at the bottom part. Nope. A little bit. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Oh, look how different that looks to that. That's a monster.
She got up, half asleep, went to the hallway, keeping her eyes on the rabbit. She looked to the side towards her parents' room. Cold, you're going the wrong way.
Because he murdered them.
She turned around, walked through the darkness into the living room, leaning against the wall. She noticed something odd in a stick on the wall. There was a trace of liquid followed down to the bottom, but she couldn't get what it was. She wiped off her hands on her pajama and moved on. When she got to the living room, partially illuminated by the light coming in through the nose, she looked around, thinking what would be best hiding place. She looked at the group of flower pots in the background. Hot.
Okay, guys. Those who are younger than, I would say, 6, change. Because this makes Scar.
Getting close, she heard in the distance. As she moved the leaves of plants aside to check, the light from the window let her see that the liquid in her hands glowed with a red color. Her intuition had worked once again. Hiding in the corner, she found the 2 eggs, but they were different from the rest, much larger and roughly painted. They were also covered with a strange layer of hair. She turned one of the eggs with difficulty. It was really heavy. She discovered, terrified, her mother's face painted. Upset, shown horror. It looked crazy, but the blood surrounded it left no doubt. It was her head separated from her body. She didn't turn the other one. It was obvious who it belonged to. She rushed instinctively to her parents' room, terrified, and her fears were confirmed. The spooky rabbit was lying on the bed, bent over one of the bodies, devouring its entrails. The rabbit turned to Mary with ice and hot breath coming out of his mouth. See how cold it was here? Alright, now it's my turn to find the last egg. This video like and want to see more of my videos, subscribe to our channel.
Okay. Since that was kind of short, I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another scary one. What to do? I'll get back to y'all. This is the one I want. Ooh, hold on. Ooh. Okay, guys. Change it right now if you're not 8 or younger.
Hey, I'm Jay from the Cusp. Welcome back to another episode of watching scary animations with you guys, and we have a conversation about it. We got a lot of good ones to go through in this episode today, so if you guys are cool with that, you down with that, everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go. First video of this episode is called The Bridge. It comes from the channel Llama Arts. I will leave the link to their channel in the description below. I don't know what this is going to be about. It says The Bridge, and bridges are always scary, you know, when you walk over it, when you look at it, when you smell it, when you taste it.
So this story takes place when I was about 16 years old. At my school, I played the volleyball team, and every year we would go to a camp and do volunteer work for this guy. The camp was in the middle of nowhere. When we got to camp, we immediately started to work till 8 p.m.
Losers!
It was around October, so it was already dark at 8. My 2 friends and I were sitting around the fire, trying to figure out something we could do so we weren't so bored. We heard that there was a small river down the hill from the camp, and we thought we could jump.
What are they going to do, get naked there? Just pull up all their pants and flap each other's wieners?
Problem is that it was some guy's property, and the owner of the camp told us to not disturb him since the guy was a little strange.
Then why don't you just, disturb him?
We weren't really supposed to leave the camp, but being
It's
16
that
years
simple.
old, we loved breaking the
It's
rules.
not your property, don't disturb
We
it!
walked about 10 minutes on the camp
Come on!
and finally reached the
I
river.
just drooled all over
It was
myself.
bigger than we expected.
I apologize.
There was a large wooden bridge that crossed it.
Oh, yummy.
The bridge was about 20 feet long and
Oh.
big enough to let a truck go.
Ooh, big and thick enough?
My two friends and I decided to go under the bridge and check it out.
Okay, trolls.
By the shoreline, we saw two headlights off in the distance moving towards the bridge, so we bolted underneath and hid. We then heard the truck roll over our heads into the other side. My friends and I chilled there for a while, just talking, throwing rocks in the water.
Make it
About
up.
8:30 this time, now it was pretty much pitch black.
I don't know what's
Then
that.
we started to hear a slow rumble in the distance. The same truck had come back, and this time it was moving much slower.
I guess imagine I'm under the
Bridge, stopping our laughter. Eventually, the truck moved the bridge, but rather than going over to the other side, the truck stopped right on top of us. The only thing you could hear was the rushing water and the hum of the engine. Then, the door of the truck swung open, and out came a loud thump on top of the bridge. Then we heard a loud scream saying, "No, you're out there! I'm gonna find you!"
Why don't you
I
just
looked
look
at
under
my
the
friends,
bridge?
They were both
You
shaking
moron!
in fear. This must have been the crazy property owner, and he seemed pissed that we were on his land. He started screaming and saying he was going to hurt us if he finds us. We could see that he had a flashlight and was swinging it around looking for us. We heard loud thumps as he walked around a little bit, calling out for us. Thank God he never went under the bridge.
What a dumbass.
Eventually, it
They're
went
obviously
silent.
under the
It
bridge.
sounded as he went back into his truck. I was too terrified to move. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and then one friend, who we'll call Trevor, whispered in my ear, saying that we have to go. I gave him a quick nod, and in slow motion, he moved out from under the bridge. We started to army crawl ashore into the river, and I remember looking behind me to see the top of the bridge.
Bro, these boys are so extra.
So-
Run.
Ford F-150. In the driver's seat was the man staring right at me with a sinister smile.
Hey, let's get in my face.
At that moment, I screamed and ran. My friends saw me run and took off after me. I could hear screaming from behind us. I took a quick glance behind me and saw that he was chasing after us, and I got
With a
the
knife?
object in his hand,
Come on, it's always a knife.
of some sort.
Why can't it be like ninja or
Into the
something?
forest
Something
and ducked
cool.
behind a bush. It was pitch black in the forest, and we couldn't hear a thing. We sat there for a while, just shaking. The man never walked by us. We never heard him. After we gathered our courage, we got up and walked back to camp.
Bro, come on. It's like 3 of you and 1 of him with the smallest babe dick knife I've ever seen. Just gang up on him. Yeah, one of you guys might get stabbed, but hey, 2 that are gonna make it out alive, I'll take my chances.
got into our tents and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, we talked to the camp owner about the man that owned the property, the river.
Never go in there.
The camp owner said that
He
he
would
had
cut off
the man,
with the
but
smallest
knows
knife
that
you've
he
ever
had mental problems and he'd been accused of assault. I'm so happy that we were able to escape from under the bridge. Can't imagine what would have happened if he caught us.
You would have killed
You
me.
can't imagine what he would have done if he caught you. I could have given you guys some answers. He would have killed you, he would have killed you, he would have killed you! Next video of today's episode is called True Neighbor Horror Story Animated. This is from my guy, 1C Entertainment. Check them out. Link to their channel will be in the description box below. But there's like a little baby stroller here, so wah. Let's go and let's see what this is all about, because it better be good.
I laid poolside, perfecting my tan for the start of school next month. Mom was in the kitchen, cooking her famous fettuccine alfredo.
Oh, fettuccine
And Dad was on the way home from Red
Ringo.
Rocks. My life was perfect, but everything's about to change with the arrival of a new neighbor next door. He was a former police officer, probably mid-50s, possessed a firm drill sergeant-like tone, but was very friendly and talkative. Initially, he seemed
He's way
like
too
a
excited for that Red Rock movie.
neighborhood.
Like,
He
way
was
too excited.
always made an effort to wave or say hi, and the presence of someone with a law enforcement background provided a sense of security. But everything began to unravel quickly, and the catalyst seemed to be me. My neighbor was in keen
She is
interest.
so neat.
Whenever I went outside, I could feel his eyes examining me. He would always wander
The
over and try
detective
to
skills of
start
his police
conversations
work, I
with me.
guess.
But
Just
as
hide
soon
behind
as he
trees.
first saw my parents, he would leave. He asked me if I had any social media accounts. When I lied and said no, he asked if he could take a picture of me and proceeded to snap a pic before I could reply. I felt completely unnerved.
Dog, she's like in high school and you're 50. Like, oh, chill out.
For all I knew, that we could have a murderer or pedophile living a mere feet from our home.
Obviously, just look at him.
I had to delve deeper. So one night,
Bro,
I
the
aimed
telescope,
my
though!
telescope at his window, and what I saw only amplified the alarm bells going off in my head. The man was fixated on the picture of me on his phone, and I could even see a small stack of photos on his nightstand. A young girl's image on top. My blood ran cold, as this all but confirmed my fear. He must be a pedophile.
Of
The
course.
next night, I saw him sneakily rummaging through our trash can.
Would he smell
I watched
it?
in horror and disbelief as he
He was just like,
removed
oh,
got into his
14.
car and sped off in the night. This was the final straw. I knew that in the morning
Oh,
I would
that's
have
the
to
look
alert
of
my
determination
parents
right there.
and get in contact with the police. And next morning, I woke to the sound of police sirens and a loud commotion downstairs. I hopped out of bed and saw my parents being taken away in handcuffs. I started
Were they the
screaming
pedophiles?
as I rushed towards the door, but I was stopped by the neighbor. With a horrified expression, he muttered, "I'm so sorry. Those aren't your real parents.
Oh my
Kidnapped
goodness.
and missing the past 14 years."
Oh!
DNA test confirmed.
Plot twist! Damn! Oh, that's it! Oh, that was juicy!
Muttered,
At the
That
end,
was
by the way.
juicier than the ass on a Thanksgiving ham. Bro! What a freaking plot twist for a plot twist. This was the creepy looking 15-year-old scumbag dude I've ever seen in my freaking life. And then, next video takes a
I didn't expect that. The, I have no word for that.
It's called Creepy Bar. I don't go to too many bars in my life because I'm a sad, pathetic loser. We're gonna see how creepy this bar actually is in this video, and it better be a creepy bar.
It was on Friday. I was finishing the last deliveries that I worked for. I went to the bar that I would usually do every night to have a glass of wine. I noticed there was a new bar that recently opened. Kilometer Bar. So I decided to try it out. When I arrived and pushed the entry door, I noticed it was weird. There were only 5 people inside, and they were all dressed in Halloween costumes.
I was gonna say,
No.
Werewolf, witch, black magician.
Black
magician?
I felt really
Racism.
uncomfortable because I was the only ordinary person there, and also because Halloween was over 2 days ago.
that's awkward.
I was still awkward standing there blocking the entrance, but all of a sudden, all the people started staring at me
What the
as if
hell
I
are you
had done
doing
something
in the bar?
terribly wrong. I made my move and walked over to the bartender. The bartender looked almost like a real executioner. He asked me rudely in a gruff voice, "What do you want to sacrifice? Blood or flesh?" That creeped the hell out of me, but I thought this was his way of taking Halloween order of battle. So I to him, "1 glass of blood, please." He turned around, grabbed a bottle, and poured it into a wine glass. Later, he opened a drawer and took out a black Satan pentagram necklace. He dipped the necklace 3 times while muttering something into my drink. To my surprise, the wine turned black in color.
Oh, that's
Placed
actually
it on
cool.
the table and told me to drink it in 1 shot.
That's a dope magic
I
trick.
was really thirsty at that moment, so I took a glass and drank it completely. It was quite strong, and my vision was slowly starting to blur.
Where is this story
I
heading
paid
to?
the bartender and left the bar immediately. While I was walking, I started to feel dizzy, and my vision was worsening. I wasn't focused on where I was going, as my mind was in a vision of all the faces of all the people I saw in that bar, maniacally laughing and giggling at me.
They weren't even that creepy, dude.
All of a
I
sudden,
know.
I had already arrived home during my vision. At first, I was relieved. But when I closed the door behind me and turned around, I knew that I was in the wrong house. It was completely abandoned.
How did you get inside
Cold
it?
and gloomy. I heard the ceiling. I tried to call 911. To my left was a dead end.
Got the
But to my
courage?
right, I saw a hallway with 3 doors on each side. I opened the doors one by one to find nothing but dark, empty rooms.
What does this have to
and
do
no
with the
way
creepy
to
bar?
escape. Finally, when I opened the 6th door, I saw a pentagram was drawn on the floor with 5 candles around, touching all 5 corners of the star.
This is also like,
This sent me back to the bartender dipped a necklace with a symbol in my drink. And there was a figure floating vertically above the symbol below. But the light at me. I passed out.
Oh, yeah, they were.
And I heard silence. Broke open the door
Did
and found
they?
me unconscious lying on the floor. They brought me because I had to vomit very bad. And when I was showering, I turned back,
You sure?
which was surely done.
You notice last video of today's episode is a 2-part special. It's called 2 Disturbing Horror Stories. I'm gonna rub my hands together because I'm very excited for this one. So let's get it.
Over the weekend, about 15 coworkers and myself had our company trip to the San Hotel in
Coworkers got thing.
known for being Stephen King's inspiration for the show.
Oh,
We took an EP ghost tour where we joined about 15 other people to get guided around the property and told
That sounds
stories of
cool.
its history and creepy things that are said to have happened.
why does he have to
We
look
were
creepy
told
too?
to take a lot of pictures. I'm sure it's
He looks haunted.
orbs or ghosts. Many green orbs were caught in pictures, but I don't think anything is as creepy as this photo taken by my coworker. A little girl in a hot pink dress who was definitely not on our tour.
That's ugly pink. That ain't hot pink.
Years ago,
That's
young
disgusting to
girl
look at.
15, but the name of
That's that
Lucy
pink stink.
was squatting in the basement of the concert hall, which is where this photo was taken. And she was discovered upon planning some construction. She was forced to leave, and the night got below freezing, so she froze to death.
Does she have to die like that though in the ugliest way
This girl
possible?
was not on
Die more
tour.
glamorous, will ya?
I mean, who wouldn't remember someone wearing hot pink? The
Hot
man
pink.
pictured as our tour guide.
Disgusting.
No one would have been in
Doo-doo
front of him. I am convinced that this is the ghost of Lucy. Just
Be
one
good.
more added note, though. I doubt anyone would believe me. But there's only one time throughout the tour where I felt any strange energy or feeling. And it was right there, heading down to the basement of the concert hall.
What?
that was so short.
That was it? What is this?
This happened a few weeks ago when I was walking home from school, excited that my freshman year was coming to an end. It was a Tuesday night when I was turning in my last essay for history.
Okay.
This happened a few weeks ago when
What? That was it? What is this?
This happened a few weeks ago when I was walking home from school, excited that my freshman year was coming to an end. It was a Tuesday night when I was turning in my last essay for history. I left it to the last minute, and the teacher actually made me complete it before I go home.
Oh,
I
it did.
hated my teacher for that.
Teachers doing their jobs.
Around
Shame on them.
I had finished that goddamn essay and poem. The rain had stopped. There was a beautiful sunset. Suddenly, I noticed there was a red 2016 Toyota Camry right behind me. I got goosebumps thinking it was following me. I didn't look back and started walking in my apartment's direction. I want to go to a big road to feel safer. Just then, the car sped, stopping right next to me.
Ooh.
A middle-aged man asked me where I was headed and suggested to drop me off. I said no thanks, but the man...
Why would he go out of his way to do this?
I wanted to tell the man to just fuck off, but I took off running instead.
That's a
I
good
heard
idea.
loud noise, and at the same time felt something I can only describe as a sharp vibration hitting my flesh. I fell to the ground, not knowing what happened. Out of adrenaline, I was about to get up and run again, as I felt a heavy arm grab me by the mouth.
Did he get shot?
Then the pain set in. I realized that I was shot.
Oh!
There was another man next to him that searched my pockets.
That guy.
He grabbed my phone and threw it on the ground as he tied my
Instagram
legs and
story
taped
guy.
my mouth. They quickly put me into the trunk of their car and then started driving.
Why would they shoot this
I feel
kid?
that we were going very fast.
This kid ain't
and
worth
I'm
nothing.
sure that we hadn't stopped at all for a good 30 minutes. I was feeling my blood soaking into my shirt, which scared me the most. I was certain that I was going to die. I was thinking about my parents and what they would feel when they heard.
Oh, whoops. My
That
bad.
is
I was thinking how terrifying that must be, and then
Then
my
the car
finger
came
slipped.
to a stop. By some miracle, I heard a police officer asking for IDs and driver's licenses.
Sweet.
I wanted to yell for help, but nothing came out. Just then, I heard 3-4 gunshots. I heard another cop yelling, "Man down! Man down! Shot fired!" Begging the cop to find me. Then I heard the cop searching the car. I was feeling joy as my pain was growing worse. Seconds felt like hours. The officer then opened the car's trunk and suddenly started firing at me out of a fight or flight response.
What the heck?
Thankfully, the bullets missed.
Thankfully, he was
The officer
dogged at
quickly
aiming.
caught up to the fact that I was kidnapped and injured. He called for backup immediately, and it arrived in minutes. They placed the injured officer onto a gurney and drove off an ambulance. Finally, when the scene was safe, they called another ambulance for me. I woke up in the hospital. The news media was everywhere. I was fine after a few days, but later learned that the officer that was shot didn't make it. I don't know if those men are still alive or rotting away in a prison for
On the
killing an
news.
officer. I don't want to know what would have happened if those officers hadn't stopped the car.
Alright, guys, well, that's it for this episode of Reacting to Scary Animals with you
All
guys.
this
If you want to see
tonight?
more videos of this series, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like. And learn today that Jay from the Cub Scouts is dead too!
Okay, guys. You know what time it is. It's time to go. I promise I'll do another one.
Sold. We love
Wait.
It's your property, don't disturb it!
Walked about 10 minutes.
Yeah, shush. Okay. Anyways, give it a big fat like Jay said. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell to all. And tell the doges that the Doge Samurai said arf.